But one of those set to testify this morning is 11-year-old Miah Cerrillo, a fourth grader at Robb Elementary School who survived the shooting that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. Cerrillo says she's determined to share her story, hoping to drive change when it comes to gun reform. Our congressional correspondent Rachel Scott has the latest.
The families and survivors of the Uvalde and Buffalo mass shootings traveling to Capitol Hill, calling on Congress to act.
My mother's life mattered. My mother's life mattered. And your actions here today will tell us how much it matters to you.
Just hours after the son of the oldest Buffalo shooting victim testified before Congress, today 11-year-old Miah Cerrillo will come before lawmakers. The fourth grader says she survived the attack at Robb Elementary by covering herself in her classmates' blood and playing dead.
We were saying maybe it would be too difficult, but she felt strongly, and her parents supported her wish that she be able to testify and tell her story.
The hearing will also include testimony from Uvalde's only pediatrician, Miah Cerrillo, speaking with him before he headed to Washington.
To the degree of wounds that I saw that day on these tiny children, there's no need for anyone to have assault weapons.
That sense of urgency shared by actor Matthew McConaughey, a father and proud gun owner.
Uvalde, Texas is where I was born. It's where my mom taught kindergarten, less than a mile from Robb Elementary. Uvalde is where I learned to master a Daisy BB gun. Uvalde is where I learned responsible gun ownership.
The Academy Award-winning actor traveled to his hometown days after the shooting, then to the White House to honor the lives lost too soon.
And Maite wanted to be a marine biologist. These are the same green Converse on her feet that turned out to be the only clear evidence that could identify her after the shooting. How about that?
Those green high-top sneakers sitting on his wife's lap as he called for action.
We need background checks. We need to raise the minimum age to purchase an AR-15 rifle. We need a waiting period for those rifles. We need red flag laws and consequences for those who abuse them.
A bipartisan group of senators is closing in on a framework, but lead Republican negotiator, Texas Senator John Cornyn, telling me it will be far more limited.
I think a focus on mental health and criminal background history is probably going to be the most productive.
And as victims' families plead for change.
Every tear I cry is a fuel for my action. We're not their children. We're their constituents.
Amen.
And they need to do their job.
Some Republicans signaled they are not on board with raising the age to purchase a semi-automatic rifle.
Can we ask you if you would support raising the age limit for our semi-automatic rifles?
At the federal level? Probably not.
Congressional Correspondent Rachel Scott joins me live now for more on this. Rachel, you mentioned today that we'll hear testimony from that fourth grade student who survived the shooting in Uvalde. We already know part of her story, but we're going to hear it now in her own words. How unusual is it for Congress to hear testimony from someone this young on a subject like this?
You know, Diane, I think that this is something that we really haven't seen before at this level here on Capitol Hill. Today, Miah, an 11-year-old, a fourth grader who survived the Uvalde massacre, will become one of the youngest survivors of gun violence to testify before lawmakers. And I talked to the chairwoman of this House committee, Carolyn Maloney, who told me that Miah wanted to be here today, that many lawmakers talked and they discussed, they thought this may be too much, this may be too hard for a survivor, for a victim so close to this mass shooting, so young, to come here and share her story. But Miah was committed. She felt strongly about wanting to share what she went through, what she witnessed, what she saw as her and her classmates were under terror by that suspect as he entered their classroom in Uvalde. She wants to share her story in hopes of driving change, Diane.
Now, do you think that these testimonies, can they make a difference as this bipartisan group of senators is working to try to find common ground on gun legislation?
Well, Democrats are certainly hoping so, and this has been 2 back-to-back days of very emotional and gut-wrenching testimony. Just yesterday, hours before Miah is going to come before lawmakers, you had the son of the 86-year-old woman who was killed in the Buffalo mass shooting while grocery shopping on a Sunday morning. He was testifying before Congress saying that his mother's life mattered and that he wants to see change. He wants to see an increase in the age to purchase a semi-automatic rifle from 18 to 21. And there's so much discussion about that age range here on Capitol Hill because it's notable that both the suspects in the Uvalde and Buffalo mass shootings were 18 years old and they bought those AR-15 style rifles legally. Now, I'm told that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has privately expressed support, that he's open possibly to supporting raising the age to purchase semi-automatic rifles from 18 to 21, but he has not said so publicly and he has not necessarily advocated for a specific policy. There's a lot of Republicans who are against that here on Capitol Hill. Many tell me that it's a non-starter, Diane.
All right, Rachel Scott, a lot of non-starters, it sounds like, there on Capitol Hill. Rachel, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.